earthquake, there's stuff going on. But here in Minneapolis, we got something to shout about. Is that right? Right. I can't hear y'all. Right. Yeah, the right to vote for those individuals who have been justice impacted or ex-offenders is now law. And for those individuals who are here, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking to you. Your right to vote is restored. You have an opportunity to be civically engaged. Say civic. Civic. Engagement. Engagement. It's so important for that to take place, right? And so now, right here in the Capri Theater on your way out, one of our individuals who got his right to vote to restore, Antonio Williams, has a little booth out in the back. And at that little booth, he's able to tell you, by you giving him your name and address, he can tell you where you're supposed to vote at, who your state representatives are, even your city council representative from whatever city you live in, right? Because it's not just enough to have the right to vote, you have to know who to vote for and where your voting is supposed to take place. Give yourself a hand for that, come on. Now just, one of our staff members from the Power People Leadership Institute, that's where I'm from. My name is Brother Shane Price, and we are from POP. And one of our staff members who worked so hard to help us get this thing together, her car got hit just right out in front. Somebody just sideswiped it in. So that's what's causing us to move a little slower. Her name is Katie, and she's such a major force for us at the organization. But we want to give each one of you, if you got the right to vote now, can you just stand? If this law has impacted you, would you just stand up? Isn't that amazing? Don't that feel good? Give yourself a big old hand. And so we're waiting for the choir. We have the Park Avenue Methodist Choir is going to be with us just shortly. They should be getting it together. We have a couple of our elected officials who are here. The Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan, is supposed to be in at about 3:30. But Ray Dean and Linda Higgins are here. And Ray and Linda were amongst the very first House and Senate representatives to get this bill started. Keith Ellison actually started it, but Ray and Linda helped keep it going. I want you to give them a big round of applause. And so you guys wave. We're going to call them up. We're going to call them up after a sec. But I just want you to see, I think it started in 2003. Now Attorney General Ellison says that he was knocking on a door, as he was running for House of Representatives. He was knocking on a door, and a wife answered. And she came to the door, and she said, "Oh yes, come on in." And he went in and was giving this little spiel, and then the husband came. And so the husband, he didn't seem to encourage, and Keith was saying, what's wrong? Are you going to vote? Are you registered? And then the wife came and said, no, he can't vote because he got a criminal record, he got a felony. So that put an idea in Keith's mind, our Attorney General, Keith Ellison, in his mind. And I believe he authored the bill initially in 2003. Linda, were you the senator at that time? She was the co-author in the Senate. 2003, it took 20 years for this thing to happen. Come on and give it up. Now, if I could subtract 20 years off of your life, you know how young you would be, is that right? Some people still quiet. But you know how young you would be if we took 20 years off your life. And to be honest with you, Linda said to me, she said, Shane, you were one of the first testifiers. I didn't remember any of that. I'm like, what? But But socialization is a big thing, and let me explain what I mean by that. Do you all remember when Barack Hussein Obama was running for president? You remember that? Now I'm from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and so the socialization of that time said it's impossible for Barack Obama to become the president. That's the socialization. Say socialization. Socialization. Yeah, that means the way you've been conditioned to think. I had been conditioned to think a particular way. But Barack's, come on Faith, come on and sit down. Barack's, his team, his election team, kept emailing me, right? And it was so exciting. He said, Shane, Brother Shane, you're going to be so amazed when you wake up tomorrow and find that I have won Iowa. And I was like, wow, that's a cocky statement right there, you know, because my socialization is there. We all suffer from it or can be informed by it, but I was socialized not to believe that Barack had a shot. So listen, I woke up, I forgot about it. I woke up the next day. The front page of the Star says, Obama wins, in big bold letters. I said, oh. I got my checkbook out. Somebody said the money. I didn't hear nobody over here. The people on the left. I got my checkbook out. I wrote the first $1,000 check I'd ever written to a politician for any reason. And I said, now, if it's just about the money, this guy clearly is talented and has the right stuff. I don't want him not to have the resources. Now, I was just a small donor, but my $1,000 was a lot to me. I don't know about you. But I'm telling you this to say that that whole historical segue broke my socialization process. Just like in 2003, I was socialized then, Linda, to believe that, well, it's a great idea. Restoring the vote is a great idea, but the chances are it's not going to happen, right? So I might have went along with it because I'm just that kind of guy. But not really believing in my heart that this thing could actually take place. So I'm so excited that others weren't socialized the way I was. Attorney General Ellison moved it along. And I've been told that it was actually passed in the House and the Senate at one time. Maybe Ray or Linda can share this. But then Governor Tim Pawlenty vetoed the bill. So I think it's passed the House and Senate once before. Is that correct? Okay. But in any case, I know they've been close in the past, but haven't been completely able to get the job done. And so, right real quick, before we get everything going here, I want you to give a round of applause to Linda Higgins, our former senator from this neighborhood. Matter of fact, she was the city council representative. She was our commissioner. Linda, come on up. Ray Dean, come on up. I want you guys to just share with me what it was like to carry that candle.
I think Ray probably has stories. I know I have stories similar to what Shane was telling you about Keith Ellison talking to people who were excited about elections, wanted to do their part, but couldn't vote. And I was thinking, as you were talking, about Election Day, the year that Barack Obama was running for president the first time. And we were all campaigning right out of Well, it used to be a Burger King over on the intersection. And all day, people in and out, going and knocking on doors and getting people to go vote. And the energy in that room was just unbelievable. And we'd go in and you'd get somebody would say, oh, go over to Golden Valley Road and do Sheridan and Thomas up 3 blocks and back, and then come on back. And so off you go. And my husband and I would go back and forth and back and forth. And one time when we were walking back to the car with our new load of stuff, a couple of young men were coming toward us. And as I had been saying to everybody that I met that day, have you been out to vote yet? And they said, no, ma'am, we're felons. We can't vote. And I said, well, are you off paper? For 5 years, ma'am, we've been off. And I said, well, for 5 years, you've been able to vote. And they said, no, we're felons. We can't do that. Nobody had told them that they had their rights to vote restored. And so I told them, I was the senator. I knew a little bit about all that stuff. And that they needed to go to find a polling place and go vote that day. And so they went off to figure out where their polling place was. Turned out it was in St. Paul. So they had to go back to their own neighborhood and cast their first votes. And I was so excited that I could help them. But I knew that there were so many other people that we could get excited about the process and involved in the process and casting that vote. And so I know it's taken 20 years, and I'm sorry about that, but it's taken 20 years, and it got accomplished this year. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you for all you did to help people. This is just monumental. It's a great day.
Thank you, Linda. I just want to say that I was one of those people that thought when I was convicted of felony that I would lose my right to vote forever. And being who I am, being a white guy, I applied for a pardon, and fortunately I received it. I think being a white guy helped. Subsequently, I ended up running, I guess the first time I ran was against Linda. She kicked my ass, but that's another story. And then 2 years later, I ran for the House and was elected. And one of the things that was important to me when I got elected were 2 things. One was ban the box, because we knew that folks with the record were having trouble getting employment because there was a question on the application that said, have you ever been convicted of a crime? So we've got that removed for private employers, and I hope someday someone does a study to find out if it's really making a difference. And the goal isn't to have people with criminal records get the job, it's to have them get the interview so that they can prove themselves worthy of job and being a part of society. And the other bill, of course, that I carried the whole time I was in there was Restore the Vote. Because I knew there were a lot of people just like me who thought they lost their right to vote forever, not just while they're on paper. And it was something that was really, really important to me, because I know that when people civically engage, they're better community members. And that's all we want. This last year when I testified at the Capitol, I said, you all think this is an elections bill. This is a community safety bill. If we get people more engaged in the community, they're less likely to reoffend. So we should all be supporting that. So I'm just excited to be here with the community and to celebrate this. And Brother Shane, thank you guys for all the work you're doing at the Power of People. And I see a lot of my friends. See Emily, lots of other folks. I thought I saw Eli here earlier. So Raj is here somewhere. So a lot of people have been working this on a long time, and it probably wouldn't have gotten done if all of us weren't working here. And I also want to give a shout out to the Commissioner of the Department of Corrections. He's here today to celebrate with us. Sometimes Commissioner Schneider gets a bad rap, but he's got an impossible job, and I'm just glad that someone like him is willing to do it. So thank all of you.
Stay right there, Ray. Give him a big hand. I just want you to know while this bill was being heard this time. He was at every one. He lent his voice, and it was helpful for him to have sat and served so that others, his peers, could now listen at him and hear him in a different kind of way. I want to present to Linda and to Ray this certificate of appreciation. This is to Linda Higgins for thank you for carrying the torch with the Restorative Vote Initiative. Linda Higgins. And when I reached out to Linda to let her know what we were trying to do, trying to celebrate, clap louder than that for me. Would you just do that? Raymond Dean for all his hard work and being able to help us carry this thing through. He saw the vision before I did. He saw it, but he saw it from a perspective of an ex-offender, and he was able to identify with it, and I think that makes a lot of difference. Give Ray Dean a big round of applause for carrying the torch. Just since they mentioned Commissioner Paul Snell, I just want to say, myself and many of the pop guys, that's what we call ourselves from Power of People, we call ourselves pop guys. It mattered to me and to us, it mattered that the Commissioner of Corrections came into the House and came into the Senate and testified on behalf of this bill. It mattered. And well, give him a hand, give him a hand. And let me just say that, you know, where political correctness does play a role, or incorrectness for that matter, plays a role. And for those individuals, there were some who were naysayers. Had Commissioner Snell's opinion been different, naysayers might have had more ammunition to help to stop this thing from moving forward like they've done over the last 19 years. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm just saying the truth to you. Give Paul Snell a big hand, and I'm going to ask him to come up. Give him a bigger hand than that. Give him a bigger hand than that.
I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to serve in this role. I'm so proud that so many more people will be able to engage and vote because it matters. You matter, and that's what this is about. I'm just grateful to all the people. I'm grateful to Ray and Linda and everyone who was a part of making this happen. So thank you all.
Hey, give it a big hand. Any pop guys in here? Pop guy on 3, 1, 2, 3. Right. That's how we know we in the house. I tell you what, we have a treat for you today. If the drummers weren't enough, let's give the drummers another hand. These were our young people. Baba Jesse Buckner, the word Baba means father in Swahili. Baba Jesse Buckner and I went to school together. We went to Lincoln Junior High School together, junior high school. So Jesse is a twin, his sister is Bessie. And we've known each other for all our lives. And so those relationships that you build matter. And sometimes when you're coming up, you don't think that those relationships mean so much, but later, down the line, my grandfather used to say, Shane, when you go down the line, somebody laugh because they know what I'm saying. Down the line of life, you'll realize that those relationships are meaningful. It's good for you to nurture them right now. Absolutely. But listen at this. The young people are being diverted, and you also saw the diversity in that group. European girls, African-American boys, everybody in between. drumming together, playing sweet music together. They had to go, but give them a big round of applause for the tape. Barbara Jesse, hopefully you'll be able to see this tape at another time. I want you to know how much I appreciate you and your sister Bessie. I got nothing but love for you. And I also have love for our good sister who's here to share with us, Sister Javita Steele, and the mighty Steele family. You know, give my hand, come on, give my hand. And today she brought her choir from Park Avenue Methodist Church, and a lot of you all have that kind of history, so give them a big round of applause. Thank you. Give her a bigger hand than that.
Well done, well done. Thank you so much for welcoming us this afternoon. Again, we bring you greetings from Park Avenue United Methodist Church, where we are under the leadership of Mr. Greg Taylor. And we are so honored to be celebrating today with you. We celebrate this. This is a victory for all of our children and our children's children, yes? Yes, yes. And I always believe that there is no way to really celebrate who and whose we are without first acknowledging the divine. Because there's been a presence of God that has covered us and kept the fight moving forward and made sure that this day came to fruition. So we've come to sing a little good gospel music for you. We're going to start with a song that's called I Really Love You.
Because you first loved me.
Thank you. That's Barbara over there on lead. Thank you. I want to take you back in time during the Revolution. This family was one of my heroes and sheroes of my life. I call them staple singers. And we couldn't have got through the 60s without them. They kept us grooving, even in our pain. Y'all know that? And so we're going to do that today, okay?
Yeah.
If you feel like getting up, shaking your groove thing, go on, get to it. I think there's a little room over there.
Rain.
voices, y'all. Woo! Yeah. We're having a good time over at Park Avenue, I'm telling you. Well, we're not gonna keep you much longer. The theme song today is Oh Happy Day that this has happened. It took, what, 25, 30 years, Brother Shane? But it's here. And the right to vote is a big deal, folks. That's how we make our voices heard. So those who are back in the game, make sure you make a mark on it. Don't you let one voting situation come along and you're not in the booth casting your vote. Take your babies with you. Let them see you do it. It is a proud and honorable thing to do. Oh, happy day. you so much, Brother Cheyenne. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Congratulations, community.
Wait a minute. They might have another happy day. They might have a little bit more left. Say one more time. You gotta say one more time. You gotta stand to your feet so they know we appreciate them. It's the Park Avenue Methodist Choir. Hey, where did they find that little Asian lady at? Oh my God. That girl got the Holy Ghost. Thank you. Wasn't that something? Yeah. Ooh, I'm excited now, and I was thinking, I might want to preach now. No, just kidding. You know, because it's a happy day. You know, when this thing happened, you got your right to vote back. That was a happy day. Come on now. My goodness. Yeah. So you know, we had this. Let me just describe to you if I can. This coalition of organizations and people who work together to cause this thing to actually take place. It was amazing. You know, when we were at the Capitol, I was amazed every time I went by all the synergy that was there and all the different organizations that were there. And I'm sure we're going to forget somebody, but I want you to know if we forgot your organization, it's not intentional, and I want you to raise your hand if I don't call your name. But I want to give some acknowledgement to Miss Emily Baxter. She's a good friend to all of us. Emily, where you at? I know she was here. Come on up, come on up. She always got that camera. I just want you to stay there, Emily, for a minute. Emily's organization, We Are All Criminals. Her hypothesis is that everybody who's anybody has done something to somebody that was criminal. But that you just didn't get caught for it. And she's also done some things with creating employment opportunities, and she's gone all over the country with her book. Her book is called We Are All Criminals. Give Emily a big hand. Stay right there. Stay right there. I want to acknowledge the Zion Baptist Church. So I'm a north sider, don't be mad at me. But Zion has always existed on the north side since my birth in the 50s. It was right down the street from my house. Brian Herring, my friend, is the senior pastor of Zion Baptist Church. And his voice was a strong voice for a lot of different reasons. I may let him explain that to you if he wants to. But I want you to give a big round of applause for Brother Brian Herring. His voice was meaningful. Brian, if you don't mind, step right over there with Emily for 1 second. And look at her. Emily's taking this picture while he comes. That girl is photogenic. you know, here's one of the brothers who has changed his life, transformed himself. He represents the organization Until We Are All Free. I want you to give a big round of applause to Brother Kevin Reese. Kevin, where you at? Kevin, come on. Come on up. Come on up. Yes, sir, come on, give me some love. Do you know Kevin, since the time that he has come home, he's been active and stayed active, and it's just important for us to acknowledge that activity. Some of us who used to be a little negative, now we have found our way to the positive side of the street. It's a beautiful thing. This award is presented to the People's Canvas and Mr. Austin Blanchett. Is anybody from the People's Canvas here? Give them a hand. Antonio is from People's Canvas, but for me, you know, he's from Tone Up. Somebody say Tone Up. Yeah. And so I want you to accept both of these awards for Tone Up and for the People's Canvas. Give him a big hand. See that? Just think back. Now look, see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You know, I got re-familiarized with the Isaiah organization. I had kind of lost track of them. Is anybody here from Isaiah? This is for Brian Foreman and Minister Janae Bates. Would you come on up, please? Come on, Minister. And you know the minister have a coordinating mash. You see how she's coordinating everything. Give her a hand for a matching mash. You know what, the Second Chance Coalition, my son Tier Caldwell is involved with that, but he is relinquishing this to Trace Ludwig. Is Trace here? If not Tier, you're going to have to come up and accept on behalf of the Second Chance Coalition. Give him a hand. Isn't that young man sharp? Hey, what about the suit? Come on, give him a hand. There's another one of my sons who has come home and done some amazing work, astronomical work. A brilliant young man, and is on his way someplace beside the place he already is. That's Brother Eliza Darris. Would you come on up from the Minnesota Freedom Fund? Come on up. Come on up from the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Yes, and he's sharp too. Wearing that pretty tie. Oh my God, in the Capri Theater. Isn't it lovely? I see the Attorney General has just walked in. It's good when your Attorney General comes and supports you. The governor called him the People's Attorney General. Give the People's Attorney General a big round of applause. These guys from the Jewish Community Action Center, these guys are always involved in political issues, and they're always on the right side of it. Is anybody here? David Snyder, are you here from the Jewish Community Action Coordinator? Anybody here from them that can take this award back? We want to acknowledge, I want to have this on tape, that organization played a role financially, manpower, woman power. They were in it. And give the Jewish Community Action Team a big round of applause from over here. This award, I'm so happy to present it. I've known this young man for many years. He is from the Minnesota Justice Research Center, and this organization is really young in its creation, 5 to 7 years old. I don't know, but what the work they're doing is so mature, and it's so specific and targeted that denotes the intellect that the organization is operating under and with. We have to just give it up to Brother Justin Terrell and Brother Zeke Callery. These guys have combined. These guys have combined to make a winning team. Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Are we getting those photos? Because we're going to have you guys, Ananiah, can you move down just a little bit to the left? You guys move down a little bit into the light, because I want the photographer to make sure she's able to get you. Now, this person, I'm sure, doesn't know that they're receiving any acknowledgement. But wherever I look in this initiative, Wintana is somewhere involved, but she's in the background. She's always somewhere in the background, putting together data, spreadsheets, and the whole 9 yards. But Wintana Melican, would you please come up and receive your award? Are you here? Are you here? She's in the background again. But let her know that she's been acknowledged. I also want to acknowledge our own organization, the Power People Leadership Institute, Brother Wayne, Brother T.R. Caldwell, and Brother Moises Franco. Would you come on up? These guys were involved from our organization from back in 2019. And my little photographer is where? Right here. Oh, good. Are you getting all of this? Is there some kind of way for us to get that group pose, or do I have to bring everybody? Okay, so Moises, come on up. Everybody come up after Moises. Come on up. Come on quick. Come on quick. We're going to catch this picture. This is important. Thank you, son. Here. Thank you. Thank you. I got you. I got you, didn't I? All right, brother. All right, brother. Yes, sir. Hey, Brian. Brian, are you here?
Yeah, Brian's here.
Come on, brother. Oh, that brother's on Isaiah time. The opposite. Come on, brother. Hey, man, it was great to meet you, and all that good energy you bring. Come on, take a photograph. Come on, brother. Can you all bunch together a little bit better? A little bit better than this? Can, sis, are you there? Are you with it?
I'm right here in the middle, y'all.
Okay.
All right, everybody, big smiles. Let's look right here.
On three, say, Pop God, 1, 2, 3. We just good at that. We're really good at that. Hey, brother. Thank you, sister. Amen. I know that. Amen. I got it. Hey, and so if y'all don't mind, excuse me, Brian, I'm gonna have Brian Pastor, just give us a quick prayer, because, well, what about it? It doesn't have to be quick, it's just a prayer. Somebody said prayer. Prayer changes things. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about while Sister Javita was singing, and there's an old gospel song, Brooks. And this today is evident. Prayer at work over a 20-year period of time, but we're not forgotten. Brian Herring, would you help us?
Sure. We want to acknowledge Representative Cedric Frazier, who carried the bill in the House, who carried the torch for us, and we're appreciative of the Before I pray, let's say this together. Repeat after me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can endure all things through Christ who strengthens me. Father, here we are and here you are. And God, we bless your holy name. And we thank you for this day that you have given us. God, we thank you, and we're celebrating the victory. But we give you the honor and the praise. Thank you for changing hearts and minds. Thank you for keeping us steadfast in the fight. Thank you, Father, for strengthening us when we felt like giving up. Thank you, Father, for continuing, Father, to hold us and to lift us up beyond the circumstances. Thank you for your power, and we glorify you, and we magnify you. And we dedicate this victory to you because we walk in your victory, oh God. Now, Father, continue to knit our hearts together as one. Continue to bless us and to keep us. Continue to unite us, Father, and help us to understand that we're better together, that we have the power through you, Father, to have more victories than this. And Father, help us to also know that the struggle continues. We bless you, we praise you, we thank you. In the invincible name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Stay right here. Oh, this is too good now. It's getting too good now. Cedric walked in just a moment ago. Cedric Frazier, State Representative Cedric Frazier. You know, man, Cedric moved that bill through the House of Representatives. I mean, it was masterful. And I just was humbled by the gift that was on him to cause this thing to come about. There was a lot of opposition. And I hope, Cedric, would you mind coming up? I hope you don't mind. We got set an award. You know, this is it. It's called the Appreciation Award to Representative Cedric Frazier for your excellent support for the Restorative Vote Initiative. Give him a big hand. Give him a big hand.
I appreciate it, but the reality is it took 20 years to get this done. And when I first got elected, one of the bills I knew I wanted to carry was this bill. And I think Ray Dean and I talked about this during my first year. And we did get this bill passed again in the omnibus package off the House floor, but it got stalled by my colleagues over in the Senate Republican side. And we won the trifecta. The first text I got was from Ray Dean. He said, hey, are we going to make Restore the Vote happen? I said, I'm already on it. We're going to get it done. Yeah. But 20 years in the making, and no matter how many nasty emails I got, or voicemails that I got, or people directly to my face, what I remember was, I am because we all are. That's right. And none of what I do alone. All the energy, all the passion, all the movement happens because I've had so many people behind me, and I stand on the shoulders of everybody in here. And I applaud all the people up here for the work that they've done and will continue to do. And like the pastor said, we've got a lot more work to do. That's right. The reason we have the inequities of people of color being disenfranchised because of this policy that we've now gotten rid of is because we have inequities of people of color, particularly black people, being incarcerated in this state and in this country. Those are the policies that we're going to be working on now to ensure that we cure those inequities. So thank you, Commissioner. Thank all of you. Thank you, Brother Shane. We got a lot more work to do. We're going to get it done.
Give it up to him. There you go. Now, we spoke to the idea, the notion that Keith started it in 2003. Attorney General Keith Ellison. Just want to put respect on my brother's name. But he is in the house, and we had a little award for him, and we also have a candle for him that he was the one who carried the torch, who started it off. He handed it to Linda and Ray, and they handed it to Bobby Joe. He can't make it today, unfortunately, and they handed it over to State Representative Cedric Frazier. And aren't we glad he did it? Let's bring up the People's Attorney General, Brother Keith Ellison. Give it up to him. You gotta get off the feet here. You gotta get off the feet here.
Brother Shane, love you, man. Am I right about that, y'all? Yeah.
Yeah, you got nothing but love in here, and everyone here. Big thanks to Linda and to Ray and to these folks who carried the bill across the finish line. You know, because I'm an old track guy, and I used to run the 4x1, and you run your leg of it, and then you hand it. What do? You say, "Read." You hand it to them, and then they take it across. These guys took it across the finish line. And I'm so proud of that. God bless. Now, one thing I want to say, Shane, is I can imagine, and many of you can too, that now that we've got the right to vote restored, there's 55,000 people plus all their family who may not know. So we've got a campaign that we've got to launch now to make sure that everybody gets signed up and everybody participates. And then we've got another fight to be able to say, look, they might say, I know I can vote, but I just don't believe in it. Like, wait a minute now, brother. We just got the thing done. You didn't believe in that? We got it done anyway. So this is the proof that if you elect Bobby Joe, he will pass the bill. If you elect Cedric, they'll do it. If you elect the governor did a great job, was key to this, they'll get it done. But if you sit home and hope for the best and think, well, ain't nothing ever gonna change, well, it won't, probably, right? But it's not even the elected, y'all. The electeds, they all just do what you say. We move because you move. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they were talking about the George Floyd matter. And I said, man, I wouldn't have got that case unless y'all was in the street. That's right. Wouldn't have got it. Wouldn't have got it. You demanded it. And so we got to demand some more stuff. But I'm going to tell you, now that we can vote, we got to go teach folks and educate folks about the vote. Then we got to go talk about a whole bunch of other things. And I just want to say, Kevin, come here, brother. Me and Kevin got to be friends years ago because I was in Congress talking to the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, y'all. Does the FCC regulates every signal, including whether or not you can call your loved one at a reasonable price when they are incarcerated. Kevin's son and his partner went to Washington, D.C. to testify in order to say that we can't have fees, $5 an hour so that dad can talk to the son. And so what about, you want to talk about poverty? No, look, poverty is being inflicted on people connected to the criminal justice system. There's a whole consumer, let me tell you, as your Attorney General, Shane, there's a whole consumer justice problem and a lot of financial abuses that happen when it comes to the criminal justice system. I'm talking about the fees on using the commissary, the phone, the computer. I'm talking about the loss of wealth for a family when somebody's taken away unnecessarily. I'm talking about bail. I mean, that's a problem, but it's expensive. And so if we want to fight poverty, we've got to deal with this criminal justice system thing. And this it's not the end of anything, it's literally the end of the beginning of something brand new. So thank you guys, thank all of you. Love each and every.
Can y'all do better than that for the people of Attorney General? To all of you all here who are on stage, I just want to thank you. We met each other in the hallways, in the byways, in the boardrooms, in the testimony room. We met each other, but we didn't know each other well. But now we can see what we've done together, and we can step to each other more completely and more perfectly the next time. Let's give everybody up here a great big round of applause. Show your appreciation for it. Show your appreciation for it. Thank you all. We're going to keep it moving right here, but watch this now. I want y'all to hear from some of the men, thank you, Justin Terrell, man, just doing some amazing stuff. Him and his wife, and Zeke over there, his wife. I just want you to, I wanted to Please try to get your seat, get back in your seat if you don't mind. We're almost there. We're not there yet because I want you to hear from some of the men who were impacted by having this bill passed. Right? We want to hear from the folks who have had now their right to vote restored. Some of them, under the old law and under old conditions, may not have ever gotten their rights to vote again. But because of this law, we have some of our men who we love, whose right to vote is restored. I want to call Brother Willie Lloyd up, a son to me. Will, I just want to tell you just a little bit about Will. Will is a brilliant man. I attended Will's hearing with him before he was able to come home because I was so convinced that Will was going to be able to do major things, mighty things. So we've been walking together a long time. I've been walking with Will maybe 14 years. Come on. I can't be more proud of him. He's a husband, a father, a homeowner, a business owner. He's a teacher, he's an educator. He just opened up his own little business. I want you to give a big round of applause to my son, Willie Lloyd.
On three, pop eyes. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yes, sir. So many people work so hard for this day to become a reality. And I just want to personally express my gratitude. Can you hear me? All right. I just want to personally express my gratitude because for the first time in my life, I'll be able to vote. Thanks to you. Now, I've been home for 13 years and, paying taxes for 13 years. And for all that time, my voice was silenced. But that ends now. That's right. Many heard me testify in Congress in support of the Restore the Right bill. But there are some other brilliant men who has been impacted by this bill also. And it's only befitting that you get to hear from some of these pop guys who are doing outstanding work in the community, who are leaders. And so I want to give you an opportunity to hear from them. First one I want to call up is John Banks. Give him a hand.
Give him a big hand, though. Make him feel real welcome.
Thank you. Now Will's got a long list of titles, and I'm happy to say the next title we're giving him is a voter.
Right.
And so my name is John Van Tau, and I work for the Metropolitan Council, helping to build the light rail. And, it's one of the biggest construction projects here in the state of Minnesota. And I never thought I would be working there, but here I am. POP, has really helped build me up to get here. And I have a long list of titles too. Father is one of the best. And there's been a lot of talk about punishment, crime, and accountability, but there's not been so much talk about what happens when people come home and how do we integrate them back into the community. And getting the ability and the right to vote is one of them. You know, this is what it looks like to restore people's humanity.
Yes.
You know, validating that they matter and their choices and their vote does matter. And the work that POP is doing and the work that you all have helped bring into reality, I appreciate it. I'm so happy because my right to vote matters and my right to be able to decide and choose what happens in my community and my life. So thank you, everybody. I want to also call up my next brother, Montez.
All right. Give him a big hand. Give Montez a hand. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Montez Franco. Usually I don't list my affiliations, but today I'm going to, because when I was younger, I didn't see anybody that looked like me in those roles. So I started out. I am a part of the Minnesota Department of Corrections Ombuds Advisory Group. All right, that's one. I'm currently board of directors at 3 organizations, and I'll name them. The first one, the Aliveness Project, a living and wellness resource for persons living with HIV because intersecting identities are valid. When people impacted by the justice system don't just face one thing. I currently sit on the, as a board of director with the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Give it up for the Freedom Fund. Also, I'm on the board of directors with the Minnesota Second Chance Coalition, where I co-chair the training committee there. And foundationally, I started off as a pop guy. Been affiliated since 2016, since my time in prison. What pays me is Hennepin Healthcare. And I work in the Research Institute at a lab called the Health, Homelessness, and Criminal Justice Lab. And guess what? They hired a guy like me. All right, come on now. Yeah. And so, you know why? Because we have lived experience, right? But that lived experience has the power to become a knowledge system if you take the time to understand yourself a little bit, if you take the time to fall into community, which has been supportive, overwhelmingly supportive for me. And as a result, I get to show up differently than I did in my younger days for my community. I'm welcomed, I'm accepted, I'm a part of it, and I welcome and I accept other people on the daily, because that's how we're going to continue the fight against injustices. And what Restore the Vote does for me is it allows me to go into the polls and vote with my adult children, who I previously drove to the polls. We're changing narratives here. We're changing cycles. And before I get out of here, I want to recognize the women in the movement. Angie Young, I see you. Sister Rhea, I see you. Michelle, I see you. Emily Terrell, you sat as president for the Minnesota Second Chance Coalition for years in the past. I see you. And all women who are supporters of the movement, I appreciate you. Thank you. Give them a big hand. Give them a big round of applause. Give them a big round of applause. All right.
All right, good job. Next, we're going to call up Adonijah Israel. All right, come down.
All right, 1, 2, 3, Pup got it. Pup got it! That's what's happening. So, I'm gonna keep it brief. Voting, Restore the Vote for me. Wow. It's on the drive up here today, I'm just driving, I'm kind of looking at the skyline, right? And I'm seeing all these wonderful buildings, seeing the people on the streets and everything, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, there was a lot of handshaking and business deals and contracts being signed and votes being made on a lot of these things that I'm looking at, and on some of the things that affect the people. You know, they're being decided upon in boardrooms and meeting places. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm 51 and my voice hasn't been heard in none of those places. That's not the case anymore.
said.
This is a very proud day for me, and I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot of us here. I've been home since 2018.
Amen.
I've been paying taxes since then. I'm a small business owner. I am an independent contractor. I work for Minnesota Freedom Fund. I free people.
All right.
Imagine being in that space where I'm from. That's amazing. Didn't get that by myself. I met an organization called the Power of People, Personal Development and Leadership Institute. And for the first time in my life, it put everything in perspective. So I was able to go back into my childhood and correct it into my manhood. Yeah. That is the power of people, and that is the power of leadership. Yeah. I'd like to thank you for everything. I'd like to thank you, man, for being part of this thing. And if everybody has the right to vote, I'll see you at the polls.
Oh, yeah. All right, next, pop guy, we'll have Brother Zeke. Come on, Zeke.
Thank you. I'm Zeke Caligiuri. I'm not a traditional pop guy, but I feel like I've been adopted. Shout out to POP. Shout out for many years of investing in people in those places. I'm here because I know what a cell feels like. I understand how ugly it is, and a lot of you know how that feels too. I testified in front of Congress, and I said a very similar thing, and I understood that they did not know what that felt like. This particular room does know. We have so many folks that are still living in those places. When I was incarcerated, I worked on several voting restoration bills. I worked on getting folks to get their families registered to vote, and to get out to vote. These were all things we understood because we understood those things about power. I love celebrations too. This is a wonderful celebration. We had a couple of them.
That's right.
We had one the day it passed in the House. It was a wonderful feeling. You get the hugs and the relief. Then we had the signing of the bill, and we're here today. I'm hoping that these celebrations will become moments that we look back on as these wonderful opportunities to be able to move some change in our communities now. It's super important. Let's look at it as though this was an important time that got the wheels moving towards making the way those institutions that we all come from look like. That's important. I get a lot of phone calls every day. I know a lot of you do too. I can't even take them all. The thing is, there are a lot of things that we need to make different. And while we get our vote back, that's one part of it, right? We are overwhelmingly trying to tie these things to our greater humanity. Because the point is, you can have the vote, you can keep it, I'll take my humanity. That comes first. But the truth is, these are two things that are not separated from each other. This happened because power was built and we moved, right? The point is, this is it. There is power. Power doesn't relinquish itself by accident. It does not relinquish itself without that. You have to show it. It has to move. So this is the point. We built this power now. It's time for us to move it, right? In the direction towards taking care of those folks that we left behind because we were those people too.
Give them a big hand, y'all. Give them a big hand. All right. Lastly, I want to bring up Pop Guy Eli. All right, brother.
Come on, Eli. Come on. Come on.
We did it, y'all. What do they say? They say we ran a race, right? We fought the good fight, and now we're on the other side of the W. We won. We did it, right? I remember when I was first released from prison. One of the first jobs that I got was canvassing, and it just happened by happenstance. I was on the computer trying to figure it out, trying to figure this internet thing out, because I had spent about 17 years in prison, never really having access. And I was on Craigslist trying to find, various different jobs so I could bring in some additional revenue. And then I saw something that said, we'll pay you $15 an hour to canvass. Now, that blew my top off, because I was working for, I think, about $9 an hour trying to sell magazines as a telemarketer. Now, I had called when I was in prison to land that job. So before I got out of prison, I had that job. So I appreciated it, but $9 just wasn't cutting it. And so $15 an hour to canvass? And so within literally months of getting out, I'm door knocking, trying to convince people to use their power to vote, trying to convince them to use electoral power, the power of the ballot. And yet I couldn't vote. And so year in after year in after year in, I stayed engaged in politics. And yet I could never hold that little red sticker that said I voted. I could never do it until now. Because we built a power for this moment. And we're in this moment. Beyond that, we intend to organize this electoral base that we have now engendered to have access to the box. We will whip up our votes, and we will most certainly be heard. So that's the next stage. Get ready for that. Get ready for us to build power with this 55,000 voting block. They will fill us.
Can you take a photo real quick? We'll step right over there real fast. Can you take this photo real fast? Come on, y'all. So, everybody up here just a month ago didn't have a voice, right? But just because people don't have a voice, it don't mean they don't have value. Now, you just heard the voices up here, and you just witnessed the tremendous value. Thank you for helping us to make that a reality. Give them a hand. That's how you do it. Take that over there, man. You just take a photo. We'll hold up. You guys on 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, God! We are anticipating the arrival of the Lieutenant Governor, Amy Flanagan. Is she in the house? Sounds like she's in the house. But I want to share just a couple quick things for you. You've been sitting with us a long time. I'm grateful for it. I see Lee Vu right there. He's a property too. He's got his brand new store. We could have had him up. Lee Vu, the guru, right there. Give him a hand. Yeah. That's right. Representative Lee, did he make it here? We're looking for him. We're going to have the Lieutenant Governor come soon. I just want to share with you that after the event, we're having a light reception. Say light. Light. Come closer. Make sure you heard me. We're having a light. Say light. Light. We're having a light reception in the Paradise Room just out the hallway to the left, where you can have a little finger food. It's not dinner. It's light. Say light. But we love you and we want to share with you. We don't want to break bread. So we're going to have you, if you feel up to it, if you feel like eating light, then you can walk out and to the left and then go into the Paradise Room. The other thing is, I know many of you who also wanted to come on stage tonight that didn't get a chance. We have a video booth just outside of the Paradise Room so that you could say something to the, answer some of the questions in the video booth, and have that turned into a video that we might run on various outlets, Facebook and the others. But get your thoughts in there. Make sure you say something. Ladies, that means you, because in some cases, you know, you've been fighting for your husband or your boyfriend or Ray or somebody to come home. And, you know, he got his rights back, but we want to acknowledge you and what it meant for you to see him home and what happened with you. So your story is important too. There's a video booth back there, please. Okay, and please tell me the governor's here. That means I should hurry and hush. I get that. So I'm going to, without further ado, I want you to come to your feet and welcome the Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan. Come on, give it up for the governor. Give it up to her, make her feel good.
Today is a good day. I'm still basking in the glow of passing this legislation and having it signed into law, and I'm just really here to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who showed up, to everyone who told their story, to everyone who is willing to be vulnerable about what this means to you as an individual, but also to your families and to community. And I know that for so many folks who've been organizing around this for a really long time, we have passed the baton from leader to leader and organizer to organizer, and we are here today. And that matters. Because I have to tell you, we've had some rough years. And I'm being really Minnesotan about that, right? We've had some rough years. But the thing that I have seen is people who have kept the faith, who have been clear that this is the right thing to do, this is the just thing to do, to welcome our brothers and sisters back into community with open arms and make sure that they feel completely supported, completely like they are a member, a valuable member of the community, and folks didn't give up. So if you need a dose of hope, look at Restore the Vote. That's right. Look at this organizing work that happened. People didn't give up. And I know that this work happened in barbershops, conversations with people about what matters. And I can't tell you how many times, as an organizer, back in the day, before I was Lieutenant Governor, I'm still an organizer, right? I'm still pushing for what I want and for what community wants. But in those days, when I would knock on the door of someone who said, oh, I can't vote, I'm a felon. I was like, are you off paper? Well, yeah. I was like, then you can vote, and you can register. And that moment where people's eyes would light up, that can happen right away. We can say, welcome home. We're so glad you're here. You get to make choices about your own life and your own community. And I would argue that people who've been incarcerated have a lot more opinions about our systems than anybody else, and have been more impacted by our systems than anybody else. So I have talking points here. I went off for a second, but I'm pretty fired up. I'm really glad to be here surrounded by families and community members who understand the real life impact of this bill. And I am humbled to be in community with all of you. And this is deeply personal to me as someone who has family members who are incarcerated. The governor signed this bill into law a few weeks ago, and we have not stopped celebrating. Today we continue the progress down the path of justice. Today we move one step closer to restoring the right to vote for over 55,000 Minnesotans. And we will continue these steps and this commitment until every Minnesotan has their right restored at the ballot box and knows that they can register to vote. And that voter registration table in the lobby, made my heart full. And voting is one of the most basic building blocks of our democracy. And our democracy itself has been under attack. So Restore the Vote is one of the best ways that we can build and rebuild our democracy together. And in the state of Minnesota, we don't just believe in democracy, we aspire to make sure that we have an inclusive democracy, and we work against voter suppression. And according to the numbers in 2018, 6% of Black Minnesotans and 9% of Native American Minnesotans were ineligible to vote because of felonies, compared to 1% of white Minnesotans. After folks have served their time, continuing to put up barriers to their involvement in our democracy does not make us stronger. In fact, the right to vote is one way we can ensure that people get and stay connected to their communities after incarceration. And to those of you who are here at the Capri, whose rights were restored, please remember that your voice and your opinion matter. And now you can use your vote to inform the decisions that are a part of our everyday lives, and we are so excited for y'all, and for the first time that everybody's gonna vote. And there's probably nothing more symbolic to our democracy than that. And I just want to take one more moment to shout out Senator Higgins, who is here. Representative Ray Dean, who is here. And I know that Senator Champion has done an incredible amount of work on this bill. Representative Frazier, who took the baton, and is always pushing us to be our best selves. And then I want to thank my brother, Attorney General Keith Ellison, for his decades-long championing of making sure that everybody has their right to vote restored. And this is where, and I'm not calling you old, brother, just to be clear. I'm calling you experienced.
Tested.
Tested. That's right. That's right.
Vintage.
Vintage. Absolutely. But it matters because I think that this is the way that we need to keep hope about how we do this work. Keith Ellison did not get discouraged. At least we didn't see him get discouraged. He did not get discouraged. And he pushed us and continues to push us to create communities that are more just. And so I needed this victory. And I needed the victory yesterday when we signed universal meals right into law. And when we're going to invest in a child tax credit that lowers child poverty by 25% in this state. When we're going to fund our schools and make sure that housing is available from our relatives who are experiencing homelessness to first-time home owners. And that restoring the vote is the foundational piece for us achieving all of those other things. Your voice and your vote, having a say in your life and in your community, is how we talk about how we want to live together as Minnesotans, where every single person has an opportunity to thrive. So I am honored and humbled to be your Lieutenant Governor, but more than anything, I am honored and humbled to be an organizer with you in this fight. This is an important victory, and now we're on to the next to do more things to bring more justice to our communities here in Minnesota. Thank you so much.
But if you would just keep the same love at the light lunch table. Say light. Yeah, keep that same spirit. Say spirit. Keep on smiling. Say smiling. At the light lunch table. Thank you so much for coming. We love you. We got nothing but love for you. Thank you, baby. You love it?
me a favor if you can listen to it. You know, it'll be, I'll be grateful. Goes like this. You may feel as though you're climbing up the steep side of a mountain, but no matter how hard it gets, keep counting on yourself and don't you dare quit. Meet every win with a tear in your eyes and never forget that if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not strong enough for even real. So whether you're in the game or off the field, be resilient and go all in. No shortcuts to take, no excuses to make, just get up and go win. Because ultimately your success is your choice. And your power has always been your voice. Losing was never your lot. So get up and go give yourself your best shot. The Tigers way. Thank you.
I think it's the best thing that ever happened to us. Now we can come out of the woodwork. Now we have better self-esteem, and now we have more power. Now let's use it. We're not just going to stop there with the vote. I'm saying, yeah. In fact, we're going to get into the politics. That's right. We're running for aldermen, and yeah.